Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for tuning in, folks. How you doing? How was your weekend? How are you all? Appreciate you tuning in. July just feels white. You know I got it on. Who's got it on? You don't have it on? You know you got to have it on. Why don't you have it on? It's coming up. Get yours. JulyFeelsWhite.com. Welcome to the chat. I appreciate you rolling in. How you doing? Hope your weekend went nicely. Father's Day and all that. I know sometimes doesn't get attention, they say. But hopefully you were with the fam if you were a father and enjoyed your Father's Day and all that. We didn't take a flight on Friday, folks. I know. You received your what do they call it? Is it a remittance? No. Your refund. Whatever. Look, we got to do it again this Friday. We're going to have to reconvene once we get the proper upgrades, okay? And this week won't go down without that proper upgrade. Okay, we're going to get that going. Appreciate it. How you doing? He just came down from heaven, you think? Shining. See, the thing is they got the lighting in here for people of a different complexion. They don't really... Yeah, I've said this before. I mean, I know there's no racism, but... You know, I've said this before, but it's gripes and all that. It's like, get over it, man. Like, get over it, right? Okay. Welcome to the show. July just feels white. Got to show it off. I got it on. You got to get it on. You know, because White History Month is coming up. Gets people going. Gets people going on both sides. But anyways, hope you had a nice Father's Day and all that. I'm no daddy. Despite daddy being home, I ain't no daddy here. No children out of wedlock. No, you know, I just don't, okay? I'm not a dad. So, but happy Father's Day to are you allowed to have, you're a son? Isn't everybody a son? Everybody has to be a son of someone. Even if, look, whatever. We don't need to get into it, folks. We don't need to get into it. Father's Day, what a painful, no, I'm joking. I'm messing around. I'm messing around because maybe people in the chat know me a little more over the many episodes we've had together. And, you know, I'm just messing around with the Father's thing. It's not a dark day. In fact, I spent it with a family, a very nice family. And hanging with the fam, I can't help but see a blessed person, I guess, you know, just to be around their family. Not everybody does. You don't have to. And I wonder if fathers in general even really want to. Or what I mean is, I'm just comparing the attention Mother's Day gets. Do the fathers really want the same attention, though? Do you really want your own Mother's Day? Is that the fight we should be having? I don't know if we should. I don't know if that's the kind of fight we want. That doesn't even sound manly. It doesn't even sound like Father's Day. It doesn't sound like a dad. Imagine needing something from the world. But anyways, look. Did you have your barbecues? Did you get out there? Who got the grills out? Yeah, we're all sons. We're all... You know what else? Everyone's a daughter. Father's Day is for everybody. Return to the father. But I guess you don't say Happy Father's Day to someone who's not a father. Because that's just what you don't do. Anyways. Barbecues, did you have the grills out? Who had the grills out? My hubs just wanted to sit in his recliner and rest his eyes. Right on. Now that's a father. That is funny. Appreciate you being in the chat, folks. By the way, 888-775-3773 if you want to talk to the anchor baby. But here's what I was talking about, barbecues. Who had them grills out? Who had the grills out? And I'm not talking about various expensive metallurgy, various pieces of expensive metallurgy. That's not what you say. You don't say metallurgy. Metalwork, metal ephemera molded to your teeth. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about grilling. Grills. Smile for me, daddy. No, wait. I'm still not talking about those kinds of grills. That's for my black people in the chat. Smile for me, daddy. What you looking at? I want to see your grills. I don't like saying those lyrics because it's a very sultry lady who says those lyrics, but shout out to, shout out to those people who have those grills too. Maybe some of them are fathers. In fact, maybe a lot of them are fathers. So shout out to those fathers too who have grills. But the people were out barbecuing their burgers, their various meats for Father's Day. Maybe some veggies. Maybe some. I don't know. Some people put like cactus. Some people put cactus on grill on a grill. You get a cactus. You cut it up in ribbons. Okay. Shout out to the nopal. Where my nopal is at? You got it on the forehead. Well, you got it on the grill too. I gotta say, it's pretty good. Slimy. Good stuff. I gotta say, good. Eat a cactus. Try a cactus. Maybe you'll like it. I like it. But anyways, look. Grilling. We're gonna grill. You know who's getting grilled? Major grilling happening on Twitter. Some are saying this person got grilled so hard they are never to return to Twitter. You won't hear from them again. They're not recovering from this one, folks. That's what the people are saying. New York Post, Chuck Schumer deletes Father's Day photo tweet in front of grill after critics slam his spatula skills. It's, I think, a little worse than just spatula skills. What's up, guys? Little Nick here. And as you can see, this is a real human. This is a real person. He's just like you and me. He's a father grilling. Wait, hold on. I see a red circle. Computer, enhance. Computer, beep, beep, beep. Enhance. I'm just pressing control and scrolling on the mouse wheel. It's a native, zoom in function of Chrome. Enhance, computer. Okay. We got burgers on the grill, but something's going on. We got the red circle telling us where to look. Thank you, red circle. We wouldn't have known otherwise. What do y'all think? There's something wrong about these burgers. Mainly, it's raw. This looks like gray raw meat. This does not look cooked. Chuck Schumer looks cooked. Computer enhanced. Chuck Schumer might look cooked. Sorry, computer. Enhance. Chuck Schumer might look cooked. But, he's also an older individual, and he seems to be in good health. And that's cool. Okay, I'm just, he's the bad guy, right? So he's cooked. So I'm just going to say he's cooked. But look, this burger is not cooked. And they got cheese on it. Something's not right. Something's already not looking right. Nothing wrong with that, you say? Wait, hold up. Who puts cheese on a burger and it's not cooked yet? Is this grill even on? Computer enhance. What is this, folks? What do you see? Okay, maybe it is on. Never mind. That doesn't look totally off. But come on. Is he really cooking burger? I don't know. I'm suspect. But hey, he's just like us. I'm just messing around. It's just his Father's Day. They clowned on him major. He deleted it, according to the New York Post. Deleted the father. He's just grilling on. Oh my gosh. We're going to move on from this. He's just grilling, and he's getting grilled on Twitter. And he wrote, our family has lived in an apartment building for all our years, but my daughter and her wife just bought a house with a back. Wait, hold up. Folks, I'm just reading the caption. Our family has lived in an apartment building, but my daughter and her wife Just bought a house with a backyard, and for the first time, we're having a barbecue with hot dogs, depends on who you ask, and hamburgers on the grill. Schumer tweeted, Father's Day heaven. You know, whatever. Hey, his daughter got married to her wife, and you could clown all day. You could clown all you want, but he's a father. He's a dad. He's got his daughters, and he's eating he's putting the cheese on the uncooked hamburger, and he's doing that. What are you doing? Okay. So don't make too much fun, but okay. The clowning comes with the grilling itself, okay? We're not grilling him for being a dad. But is he even grilling? Is he even grilling is the conspiracy theory. Because they're just like us. They're normal people with, sometimes not doing not normal things, like daughters getting married to a wife. But what the heck do we know? We can't just start... Okay, look, I'm just also trying to present these other photos, okay? I'm setting up this series of photos. We got Hochul. You remember her? Governor Kathy Hochul. This is August 2022. She, too, is a normal. She's like us. She grills food. She's not a reptilian. She's a real human being. And on this, can we say like top marks so far? I mean, I'm seeing marks. I'm seeing grill marks, first of all. I think you could put cheese on them now. This is just my opinion. Anybody know? You put cheese on the burger? Do you think do you think he picked up the burger for a photo op? Nick's BBQ validity test. Look, I'm just saying, on this one, I think somebody grilled those burgers, okay? Can we at least look, if we're going to be real sleuths about it, maybe we can't say that she grilled them. It sure looks like it. But somebody grilled those burgers. That's more than you could say for Chuck Schumer. This is August. But they're normal people. They're just like us. They're just like us. Happy 4th of July, Kamala Harris and her husband. Who's that guy? Forget his name. Those are grilled. Again, Chuck Schumer. You're standing on the shoulders of giants. Politicians with barbecue photos already exist. What is your team? Because I see grill marks, baby. Cheese goes on that, okay? That's a vice president. All right, folks. What a Father's Day. Incredible stuff, right? They're just like you and me. They're just like you and me. Hillary Clinton. You know, someone was posting these around on Twitter, and I just wanted to show you because it's funny. I get to make jokes. I get to mess around here on my show. You know, it's a photo op, okay? People do photo ops, okay? It could be varying levels of reality. It's how reality TV works, you know, a little bit of reality, a lot of fluff, a lot of this, a little bit of that. And you got yourselves a photo op. And that's how that goes. And photo ops can literally just be you doing something real and someone takes a picture because they want to present a certain angle, a certain vibe. Like they're just like us. And in many ways they are. See, that's the big twist on this one too. The big twist is to easily judge them and call them reptilians. But don't you know that you too are a reptilian? Okay, you're like, look, I'm doing the little turntables flipping on you trick for funsies. Maybe you're not a reptilian, but come on. The government is a mirror to the people. And as false as they may be, come on. Can we look at ourselves? That's the twist on this. You know, I got to throw it in. What else on this? That's the twist. Maybe also that we too are too quick to put the cheese on the burger. You know what I mean? We too are too quick to put the cheese on the burger. Okay, but that's a little Father's Day mess, you know. Did you see your family? Hope you enjoyed your Father's Day. You know, I know some fathers who don't even get to see their kids. They don't hear from or even get to see them for various reasons and all that. But as a heavyweight, some call them, an individual once said, chin up kings. It's Father's Day, right? It's about being what? Imagine needing anything is all I'm trying to say, right? Even if you didn't have it all, whatever all is, perfect peace or a perfect credit score, I don't know. But you got to know. You got to know at least this, right? You got to know that you're not going to get it from anywhere else but from you. You got to know that, right? You got to know that you're not going to, whatever all is, whatever it is, you're not going to get it from anywhere else but you. The problems are coming from you. You want a lot of the things in your life that aren't up to par, that you complain about, that you feel. You want a lot of those things, okay? And we're saying you want those things with a little awareness. Hopefully I can, as we go forth in the show here, explain a little bit what I mean. But you got to know that, right? That whatever it is, it's got to come from you. And you kind of have to make a decision. I know you don't have free will. I know you heard, oh, well, we don't have free will and nobody's ever made a decision in their lives. You've never made a choice in your life. You've heard this. I don't say that that's wrong. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I don't quite totally understand it. You've heard Jesse Lee Peterson maybe say that. Maybe you don't know him on his network. Google that name. Do your Googles. But you may have heard him say, you can't make decisions. You never made one in your lives. And you could call me. We could talk about that. I have some thoughts about that. I think there's some interesting truths about that when I think about it in my life. But hold on. Here's what I'm saying right here. There is something you got to decide on. And it's if if you really want whatever it is you're talking about, perfect peace, perfect peace, all the way from perfect peace to the job you're in, the circumstances you're in, the relation, the marriage, the whatever. You want a lot of that stuff. You want a lot of mess, hell. So there is, in my opinion, a decision you kind of got to make that you just want to turn it around. For real. Okay. Shout out Father's Day. You get it a little bit. What else on this? No fanfare. No fanfare, just family. I mean, and no gifts, unless you really want to. I'm just thinking about what if the Council of Fathers, if the Council of Dads got together and the world asked them, what do you really want for Father's Day? I'm just thinking here. I'm not a father. No gifts, unless you really want to, okay? What dad wants to receive a waste of money? Oh, great, my daughter's wasting all her money on something. Make sure he's going to use it, okay? Why would you want anything else? And just, he just wants like what, a call? See that you're okay? Let's have a barbecue. What else? The Council of Dads. I don't think the Council of Fathers would want the world to suddenly switch and be like, well, no, we gotta give just as much attention to fathers on Father's Day, okay? What do you want to do, Dad? We gotta go out. We have to go to dinner, Dad. What do you mean you're not ready? That I can already see the Council of Dads just going like, this is not what we wanted. This is not what we wanted. All right, 888-775-3773. This meeting is ridiculous. All right, I told you the number. Call me. Speaking of fathers and sons, daughters. You know what? Fathers, sons, and daughters. You know what? Equality. We're talking about the draft. We're talking about military stuff. You know what? Daughters don't get left out. We're coming to find out. No, we're coming into equality, folks. As we're learning and getting educated. Some people forced education by their company or government, re-education camps, or you get fired. They call it diversity training and stuff. But okay, equality in the military. So don't feel left out, daughters. In this segue, I said, speaking of fathers and sons, don't leave out the daughters. The news is there are some proposed changes to the draft, the military draft. You get it. They call it the selective service. I actually remember signing up to the selective service or something like that. And I can't remember the details, but I remember I was in Canada. You know, I grew up in Canada, anchor baby, born in America, moved to Canada with the family. And there was a time when, at some point, I went to renew my American passport, okay? Something, I forget exactly why, but I know I had to. And so I go to this embassy in downtown Toronto, and I go and do this. It's like a DMV kind of thing. I'm waiting to get it all done. I'm talking to the lady at the booth. I forget exactly how it goes down, but she produces an orange card about this big, and it's got this lettering. She just produces this orange card. It says something about selective service, and she tells me that I have to sign this. And you know, I'm the type to be like, okay, but why? And she tells me, I don't know if I was quite developed in that though, because she gave me just one pushback and I signed away. Because what she told me was, and I could be remembering this wrong, but something along the lines like, here's the selective service thing. It has to do with drafts and all that. And I was in Canada, mind you, as an American citizen. And she's like, you have to sign it. And eventually she tells me, like, I don't have to, I guess, but it's voluntary. But if you don't, that you can get in trouble. Something like that. I signed it and I was like, whatever. I didn't think much of it. Or I don't even know what you're talking about, lady. I wasn't even thinking about politics. This is before Trump, before I even thought about, because I remember looking at this same very passport years later. I'm listening to Jesse at this point, and I look at this same very passport, and I had the thought, maybe it was a demonic thought, but hey, everything, you know, in all situations, you could work things out. You could. I think that's what God meant when he said something about turning all bad things into good. You know, when you get like ideas and you go down a certain path. What I'm trying to tell you that I saw this same path, but I'm like, let's go to see America. No way. That's right. America exists. I'm a citizen. Let's just go. One thing led to another. But this, anyways, where was I? Selective service. She tells me I have to sign it. I'm thinking this will never come up in my life. This will never come up in my life, right? Well, here's the news. Changing the draft. Proposed changes to the draft. And you know what? To present this news, I'm going to need a little help here. Here we have 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒒𝒂𝒎, a.k.a. Cardi B. Okay, Cardi B, to help me present this story here. Cardi B, what's going on with this this mess I hear? Help us out here.
So I just read an article saying that the House just passed a bill that they're going to automatically register men from 18 to 26 for war, okay? And all I want to say is to America, good luck with that. These new little niggas are TikTokers, baby. These motherfuckers ain't going to fight no war. We're going to die. You're going to die. You might as well just keep motherfucking investing money in your guns, because these new kids, you want to send these new kids to fight these wars? The TikTok fucking hip shakers?
Okay, Cardi, hold up. She's telling you the news a little bit. 18 to 26. We'll get you she's putting it in eloquently, okay? But if you require the news, we'll get it to you from Zero Hedge. But Cardi B, we're reacting about college. Okay, she's a black woman, I hear. But with all that speaks, I don't know, she sounds like a Puerto Rican, New Yorker. I forget, you know? That's not important right now. Look, Cardi B, she's saying, yeah, TikTokers, the hip shakers. Can I say something? Cardi B. I know it's funny. We're laughing it up. You're yucking it up. Oh, you're going to send the hip shakers to fight. We're going to die. Look, we have to have some solidarity. It seems like at any point we could just, I'm kind of being a little facetious here. We're doing this for jokes, but I'm talking about the quick to cannibalize America. They're ready to go at each other. Look at these these TikToking immigrants. These TikToking, maybe a bunch of them are immigrants. Come on, let's be real at this point. These TikToking immigrant Zoomers, they're our TikToking American Zoomers. Okay, if they're citizens. even if they abuse the law like the American anchor baby. And they have no business. They don't need to be fighting this dumb war as much as any other American right now. It feels like that. It feels like that. Okay, Cardi B, don't be so hard on them.
Out of your mind. This is a new America, baby. This ain't the 19 mother. Not like serious.
There's a new America. This ain't the 19 and then some vulgarity. Cardi, if I might jump in once more. It's true. I mean, it's the only one I knew growing up, but it's true. It sure seems like it. I don't know if I really see the whatever, the soldiers. What was I gonna say about that? Didn't y'all do this? I'm talking to the women. Okay, maybe this is misplaced. Okay, but y'all wanted this, no? Y'all wanted this. Maybe you didn't know that this is what you were doing. But y'all wanted this generation. Y'all raised them. The TikTok hip shakers. And whatever the fathers lacked, whatever the fathers lacked in them too.
So you're gonna draft these kids that be TikToking all day to fight them? What? Most likely what? Them Russians? Them motherfuckers that be fighting bears and shit, and motherfucking climbing mountains to go to school and whatever.
Is that true? Where are my Russians at? Come on. I feel like a lot of countries got problems right now. And I'm not going to say that the TikTok hip shakers are like that tough or anything. Why do I get the same impression? They're a lot tougher over in Russia. But they got problems too. Like, we could flip it on them and be like, oh, whatever, go drink vodka. Go drink vodka, you drunk, and deal with... I don't know. You see what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of countries got problems right now. It's not looking good in a lot of places. Have you noticed that? But I hear Russia has got this Christianity thing. So we can definitely play the comparison game for insight between the nations. Because we're supposed to be the big good guys, the shiny city on the hill, right? Keeping the peace around the whole world. Keep it going, Cardi. Okay, I think that's it from Cardi B. She's like, these TikTok hip shakers, we're going to die. And I don't know if she said it in this clip, but she said something like, y'all better off investing on y'all guns. If I may translate, you are America, State Department and the DOJ. No, not the DOJ. The Department of Defense. May I suggest a focus on military technological supremacy, because the boots on the ground strategy, considering the personnel coming in, is not looking like the strongest strategy. That's coming from Cardi B. That's what she said. And anyways, but real quick, Cardi B, and to Cardi B and the TikTok hip shakers, boot camp ain't nothing but 10 weeks. Okay? Maggot, that's only 10 weeks, okay? You can spend a lifetime, you can spend your whole young life TikToking and hip shaking, but you need 10 weeks in boot camp, and that rifle is going in your hands. Okay? So don't think that you're getting out of it. Don't think that you're getting out of it. Boot camp ain't nothing but 10 weeks. Okay? But here's the news. Military draft incoming, asks Zero Hedge. House passes measure to automatically register men for selective service. Just let me do this. And so that's the news from Zero Hedge. The House of Representatives on Friday approved its version of the annual defense policy bill, effectively clearing the $883 billion National Defense Authorization Act to move forward in a 217 to 199 vote, which largely fell along party lines, with only 3 Republicans opposing it. Okay. A number of controversial amendments are part of it, setting up a further fight with Democrats as it moves forward, including a measure empowering the National Guard to crack down on the southern border. is the story. So they got measures in there about the border. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Yeah, finally, right? Don't get excited. Don't get excited. But among the most interesting aspects to the bill for fiscal year 2025 is an amendment to the NDAA. That is the National Defense Authorization Act. And something like this hasn't happened from what I heard since like the 70s. This amendment, which automatically registers all draft age male U.S. residents. U.S. residents. I feel like I just read that. I must have assumed citizen, but I'm reading this article the second time here, Zero Hedge. And it says that all draft age male U.S. residents with the Selective Service System. I don't know if that's a change. And if I had caught that, I would have checked. Anybody know? Anybody know if that's a change? Was the Selective Service only for citizens? Importing soldiers. This means that all able-bodied males in the country aged 18 to 26 could potentially be drafted in the scenario of a future war declaration by Congress. Who missed it? R.I.P. draft age guys. That's not funny. Okay. Is the draft coming? I think they raised it 2 years from to 24 to 26. Could be wrong about that. But where was I here? While there has been a selective service program in effect for decades, it has long previously only been voluntary. This new amendment will make registration automatic. The merely voluntary system had been in effect since 1980, but critics have said that leaving it up for young men to decide for themselves has resulted in a weak and ineffective system with not enough members. Okay. The automatic draft registration proposal was instigated by the Selective Service System. Just giving you more information here. Representative Chrissy Houlihan, Democrat out of Pennsylvania, wholeheartedly endorsed by the chair, Mike Rogers, a Republican out of Alabama, approved by voice vote of the full committee. And Houlihan is one of the leading advocates of proposals in previous years to expand draft registration to women as well as men. So can we assume has not been expanded quite yet to the women here? I ain't worried about it. I'm not getting drafted according to this, right? They can raise those ages real easy. That doesn't take much. But this is Representative Houlihan. Chrissy, I don't know what kind of, is that Hawaiian? What kind of last name is that? Houlihan. Houlihan. Is she like a island girl? Island girl. And she's leading the charge alongside some Republican male for this draft stuff. And she also wants the ladies, okay? And so that's the word on that. By far the most concerning and most relevant section of that War College essay. Sorry, hold on. You know, here's an interesting tidbit from Zero Hedge, if you find this. You might like this. Okay. Talking about the U.S. Army War College. And Zero Hedge outlines an example to demonstrate this rising number of military papers and reports calling for more robust draft systems and other things, especially in relation to this ongoing war, Russia-Ukraine. And so check this out. This is from the U.S. Army War College, their academic journal. They included what Zero Hedge calls a highly disturbing essay on what lessons the U.S. military should take away from the continuing war in Ukraine. And it says something like this. Here is out of a subsection entitled Casualties, Replacements, and Reconstitution. It directly states, large-scale combat operation troop requirements may well require a reconceptualization of the 1970s and 1980s volunteer force and move toward partial conscription. Just a little, it's just coming down from the War College. Okay, they're taking lessons from the Ukraine war. I'm just reporting the news for you here. Yeah, I saw Houlihan, and I thought hula hula. That's as far as I went with it. I thought hula girl, Houlihan, that's a Hawaiian. I'm ignorant. I don't know what kind of last name that is. So anyways, where are we? Where are we at? Where was I? I missed it, boys. I would have been in a squad with you. Maybe I would have come back with some glory. My last name, Gonzalez, is a war name. It means something to do with war. I think something like war general. Or maybe I would have just gone blown up, just like instantly. Just gone. I don't know. Okay, we're it's not totally bad, folks. Let's say you do go to war. But I don't know if it's like happening. I don't really know if it's going to happen. Nothing ever happens. It seems like it. They've been talking about World War III for a bit now. And I can't say I'm like I'm following it somewhat. Israel and Ukraine. I've reported on it somewhat. But is anything happening? Tell me if I'm wrong. You could call me. I see calls coming in, by the way. Thank you. 888-775-3773. About to get to calls. Appreciate the patience. But call me if you tell me where I'm wrong here. It seems like nothing happens. Look, this is from the skim. Israel's military announced a tactical pause in Gaza to help flow of aid. Here's my bird's eye view kind of this without knowing the nitty-gritty details. It seems like for all the calls of genocide, for all the calls of World War III, for all the calls of you can't do that to this person, all the calls of greater, that we will have a greater Israel. The region will be like it hasn't been in 50 years or something like that from Netanyahu. For all of this and that said, it seems like whatever clamoring is happening around here on the outside, it's going down here in the middle. Here's what I mean. Israel's doing what it wants. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you may think that's right or wrong, it's happening. Gaza's happening. The people are being moved. The Palestinians are becoming refugees, immigrants, and nothing's stopping it. I'm waiting for the World War III, right? I'm not saying, like, I know everything here, but I'm just throwing that in there for anyone fearful. They see the draft. They see all this. Nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens. Anyway, I'm not saying something should happen, and I'm not saying these aren't signs of conflict. We are in times of conflict. But what are you doing in this time of conflict? Okay, anyways, that's the draft. That's the news on the draft. Let me give you this tidbit here since we're talking about it. And I'd be, I wouldn't want to not inform you alongside with this draft stuff. The Republicans and Democrats, hand in hand, very happily, passing this key military bill. Won't let you forget, though, they threw in something about the border. The National Defense Authorization Act will empower the National Guard and deploy them to the southwest border. And that's all I'm reading here. That's from Speaker Mike Johnson. Who cares? I'm not gonna think too much of it. They're empowering the National Guard. Right on. They're gonna do it. And do what? Wait and see attitude. I'll believe it when I see it. You know, Biden's big tough move is what? Just let in 2,500 a day. So you're telling me, Speaker Mike Johnson, that this deployment of the National Guard to the southern border is to do what? To enforce the law? Well, the law is the tough action by Biden is this: let 2,500 in a day. So nothing, no real change. Still about 1 million a year. So whatever. Nothing ever happens. You see. So that's a little bit on the draft and all that. Let's get to some calls though. I got Jaime out of Minnesota. Thank you for your call. You're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Nick?
Thank you, sir. All is well.
That's good. The selective service. I remember when I graduated high school, that's when I had to fill out the little card and drop it in the mailbox.
Ooh, what's that mean? I don't know
well,
exactly.
You get a card
that means, you get the card. So that means when you're part of the selective service, that means you could get drafted, right?
Right. They just
I feel like I just read
this,
but I just want to make it clear.
Yeah, they just got to know where you are, so that if there's a war and a draft, then they know where to find you.
Mm. So let's say you're
And
on this.
I think you go to jail or something if you don't fill that out.
So the lady wasn't lying to me. So I did sign that. It wasn't under duress. She was advising me not to get myself in trouble.
Right.
Okay.
Give advice.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. And that being said, like, take me for example. I'm past this age of the drafting and all this. But I'm still in their books, in their records, no?
Well, sure. I don't know what they would do, but take a look at the Iraq and Afghanistan war. They didn't do any drafts for those wars.
Right,
there was enough people wanting to go and already in the military to handle, what was that, like 20 years for the Afghan war?
Wow. That's an interesting thing that you said, though, that they wanted to go, right? I've seen countless videos. I even know someone personally who got into the military because of that.
Mm-hmm.
They saw 9/11 and it was just, that's it. We're going, boys.
Yeah. So, and there's a lot still that are like that, that want to go, be a part of the military and not part of the civilian. I don't know what the draw is for that, for me. I never really wanted to go into the military.
Mm.
I guess it's just the type of person that you are. But with this draft thing, the women, did you say they want to do the draft for the women too?
Well, the representative, this female representative who kind of spearheaded this draft change, has been known in the past to call for that, to expand the draft to women as well.
I remember with this Ukraine-Russian war, they have women soldiers. I don't know if it's both sides or one side, but they show that women that were in that war, some of them have become pregnant while in the battlefield.
What?
Have you heard that?
That's ringing a bell, but I don't want to say...
In the Russian-Ukraine war, yeah.
I heard maybe something about that. I've seen pictures of women, and not in the Ukrainian military, but with guns, like out there with a squad as combatants. I've seen videos too.
Right. And then, so that's a problem. Also, they cower. And a lot of, not just the women, but the men. They cower.
Are you saying this about Ukrainian men, or are you saying this about just being a soldier?
I think it might be the both sides. When I see these videos, I don't know which one's which. Mm-hmm. Ukraine or Russian, but they're all Russians.
Brother wars.
Are Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you this generation with what Miss Cardi B was talking about. She was saying, the TikTokers, the Generation Z or Generation Alpha, they're not going to be able to fight. She has a point, because you can see the Generation Z, and I think it's might be some of the millennials that are fighting in Russia and Ukraine. They aren't. They're scared. They cower in the holes, and then they get bombs dropped on them, and you can see.
So you're saying there would be quite a lack of courage in the soldiers in the
right.
Yeah,
but they're gonna, like you said.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that.
You did point out 10 weeks of boot camp, and
because you don't think America had coward. Like, can we make an argument that there are less courageous people today? I bet you, and I bet you in a grander scale, you can maybe even quantify how negatively that affects a squad, an army, and America's army at large. But this is what I mean about the boot camp thing. It's funny to say, like, oh yeah, because I've even seen another TikTok. It was like Zoomer. He was like, "You think you're gonna make me go to war?" And I'm like, you don't think America and other countries had men like that when they did their drafts back then? People who didn't want to, people who were afraid, a bunch of people in a foxhole cowering. Yeah, but you're still putting a gun in their hands, and you don't need that courageous of a person. You just need someone to hold the gun. You know what I mean? You following me here?
Yeah.
When the chips are down, don't go. Still work on yourself. Maybe do some push-ups. Like, okay, go on. My bad.
depending on how they do the training of that boot camp, because there are people who break in boot camp, and they might take the hard way out. They might shoot themselves or cause some sort of damage to themselves so they can get out. Have a dishonorable discharge. You might get a lot of those from this younger generation, or you might just get a lot of 4Fs. Unfit to serve if they make things like anxiety and mental issues.
Do you know if those women who got pregnant in Ukraine got out of? I guess of course they got out of, at least while they're pregnant, out of having a fight.
I don't know. Maybe they kept them going. I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to research that. But they'll make you go. But everybody's going to try to weasel their way out. Not that I want to go or would want to go, but there's a lot of anxiety in Americans, this younger generation. They don't know how to handle it. So you might get a lot of mental unfits to serve.
Maybe. Yeah, I bet you.
Yeah.
I bet you.
But I don't.
It might also make, it might even also force people to cope and kind of I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying, right on, let's draft the Americans to shaping them up. To what? Draft them for some war they shouldn't even be fighting? It doesn't seem morally correct. But yeah, what else are you thinking about this? Jaime, are you thinking they should?
I would say that instead of fighting a world war with an enemy, across the ocean, I think America should go to war with Canada and Mexico. And America should just take over the continent.
Greater America.
North American. Right. And then I want to know, are you fighting for America or for Canada?
I'm not really fighting. I can't say I'm really fighting for either of them, man.
Well, let's say that we went to war with Canada.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You're not going to be in the battlefield. You're going to be the cook, right?
I understand what you're asking now. My apologies. No, I'm fighting for the American military, sir.
All right, that's great. So
I will be happy to see the Canadian platoons. I hear they have great experts, specialists. They are known for their specialists. They were at least World War II. So I'll be looking at the Canadian platoons, being like, right on. But I'm here in America, sir. I'm here in America, and that's what we're doing.
A greater America.
A greater America. Americans. Can we take a page from Bibi Netanyahu? I'm totally cutting you off, sir. But I'm saying, can we take a page from Bibi Netanyahu here? Greater America. I'm with you, sir. Because you see what's going on in Canada. That's going to be a new southern border.
Yeah.
That's the northern border is going to be a new. I'm telling you right now, the northern border. That's not even a joke anymore. I used to make little jokes about snow Mexicans. Let's get a wall up. No, the wall needs to be built in the north as well. Or you invade Canada, and we create a greater USA.
That's right, because those French have been there for too long.
You're saying create the greater USA and kick out the French? Keep the Anglos?
Yeah, keep the Anglos.
Whoa.
And then also with the South,
why? Why are we kicking out the French? I say I say they can stay in the greater USA.
Nah, they're too proud. They'll never assimilate.
You're right. They'll eventually, out of the francophone areas, you'll have the terrorists who want to separate. They'll be like separatists.
That's right.
That's actually a good point, man. If we want the greater U.S., the greater America to survive 1,000 years, you might have to deal with the French.
Now, that would bring the blacks and the whites of America together.
Okay, what, kicking out the French?
Well, taking over going to war with Canada and Mexico.
Now, why do you say that?
Well, the blacks and the whites, they can get together to make that happen. And there'll be more land. We give more of the land to the blacks, and the blacks can enslave the Mexicans down south. And
I don't know.
I think that would bring the races together.
I'm following your simulation here a little bit, and my mind went there too. I'm thinking, you know what? These wars, will make America rich. There'll be enough to go around. All boats rise. Land for the blacks.
But if we
my mind went there too. Go ahead.
If we do it here in this continent, instead of going, to Russia or China, don't do that. Forget that. There's no point in going all the way over there. You're just wasting resources.
You know what? Reasonable. I gotta say the little slavery thing though, I don't see it going down that way. That's gonna be a war. That's gonna be an internal war. You're saying the blacks can enslave the Mexicans. I thought slavery was abolished in this greater USA, but that's gonna be a fight. I don't know who's gonna enslave who on that one. What else here? That's it on that, sir. Anything else you want to say? I forget what I was going to ask you. Oh, I want to comment. Rich in my chat is saying, dude thinks he's in a video game. What do you think the people in charge are doing? They're playing SimCity, Rich. They're playing SimCity and Civ 5. They're playing video games with us. You think this war is about, you think all these wars are about true American safety and sovereignty or whatever? No, they're playing video games.
Yeah. Except they're doing it all boring, they should do it. Take over the continent instead.
Funny stuff, sir. A little food for thought. We're gonna put that in the back burner for when we got the power. Anyways, I'm messing around. Thank you for your call, Jaime. Call me again.
It's good. Bye.
888-775-3773. Let me say hello to the super chatters. Thank you for the super chats and the support. You can super chat here on YouTube. I am live currently on YouTube. And you can super chat, leave a message for the anchor baby. Give him a second while he pulls it all up. Carver, man, thank you for the super chats. Appreciate the support. He says, Caitlin Clark, 2A, Cardi N-word gal, women base now? Second Amendment. See, I need a Bonix translator maybe. Everything just, my whole YouTube screen just left. Oh, am I still live? Yeah, it says excellent connection. But I can't access, all of a sudden I can't access my super chats. Huh. It's all gone. It says no super chats. I can't access anything. Folks, can you hear me? Am I live? I cannot access anything on this computer now. No internet. I have no access. Google is not loading. Please tell me I'm live. Testing. Thank you, not a good boy. We can still hear you. 1. Well, I have my show on my phone. I have my show notes on my phone. Just don't I'm just not going to refresh you guys because I might lose you. I can't access any web pages. Billy. Okay, we're back. I got the internet. We are accessing the internet. We are live. I think I was already live this whole time here, but thanks for the patience. Carver with the super chat, which I'm having trouble accessing again. Okay, we're moving on. Pablo. I thank you, Pablo. Appreciate the coffees. That's triple coffees from Pablo. He's saying it's hard to buy me a coffee, which you can, buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. You might want to maybe even do it just to test this out from Pablo. He's saying that it's, his credit card lets him buy all sorts of trash without being so strict. But when he tries to super chat me, it's all sorts of restrictions. So let me know. I'm laughing at my chat here. They are slandering Hake for pulling the Ethernet cable and kicking his head back and cackling. He pulls the Ethernet cable while I'm live, and he goes, he calls himself American. No, I'm messing around. That's slander. Okay, so where is we? Where was we? That's right. I was on a call. You can call me, 888-775-3773. I was talking with Jaime about the draft and all that. But, yeah, who knows what's going to happen there. Stuff at home. Stuff at home. So, you know, we got plenty of problems. People fighting here in America and all sorts of things. And the right wing of America, you know, talking about politics a little bit. The right wing of America. In fact, the can we say even the youthful right wing of America convened over the weekend? Huh? We're talking about TPUSA, Turning Point USA. You know a little bit about them. They're on the campuses. They're talking to the young conservatives. They got the movement going. Turning Point USA. Been around for a bit here. And they had a convention. And President Trump spoke there. He was in Michigan, in Detroit, for a church roundtable. This is from Fox. Former President Donald Trump recently spoke about his connections with young and minority voters. He was at a local church, and as well as at Turning Point USA's People's Convention at Huntington Place. And so he was there, meeting the young conservatives, speaking to the people in Michigan. Trump won Michigan in 2016, but lost Detroit and Wayne County. Just some info on that. But where were we? The NAACP Detroit president, Dr. Reverend Wendell, questioned Trump's motive to speak at a church. Coming to Detroit to speak at a church when you don't go to church, when you know nothing really about church, and you're going to use that as a platform to pursue your political agenda is really a mischaracterization and misuse of a sacred institution, says the Reverend Dr. Reverend. Commonly, these types are terrible judges of so-called Christians and a Christian heart, what Christian behavior is, what church-going people are like. In another, you know, looking at it another way, these people are also some of the best. They have a lot of experience with today's churchgoer, which is a shallow person. So they had the Turning Point USA conference over the weekend. I heard, in fact, by the way, talking about TPUSA, I got to mention that I heard AFPAC got canceled. America First Political Action Conference. I remember going, and JLP spoke there once. Very great, highly received by the Groypers. We're talking about young conservatives, right? I remember being in that room. And the energy, it was cool. Young guy saying Christ is king and all that. But anyways, they enjoy hearing Jesse talk big time. They have a respect for him. And it's just always great to put out the message and just be there with Jesse and help him out. But that's always a delight. Wherever I've gone with him, to a college, to this or that place, to see just faces receive the message, it's great. So shout out to AFPAC. I heard it didn't go down. I heard it got shut down. I don't know the details, Sorry to hear it. Hopefully they make it happen, though, and they reconvene. I don't know exactly what happened. Wishing them well. But where was I? Turning Point USA. Candace Owens was there. Candace Owens, you know her a little bit. She's she got fired at Daily Wire. She's been saying Christ is king. They're calling her anti-Semitic. What else about her? She's back. She's on her own show or whatever now. And she's telling the world she ain't taking care of those kids. I won't do it. I'm just messing around. Joshing on Candace, but she's going viral for this interview. According to Ian Miles Chong, He's saying, in a now deleted interview at TPUSA, Candace Owens says that America should not have gone to war with Japan or Nazi Germany during World War II. Controversial, spicy stuff. Now deleted. And so I don't know if it is deleted. I'm seeing something on YouTube. It looks like GBN.
Thanks so much, Candace, for joining us.
It looks like GBN, the same people who interviewed Candace, posted this on their own channel. So I don't know if it is deleted or if it got deleted and they brought it back. But that's what Ian Miles Chung is saying. He shares a little clip. Let's watch a little bit here. And kind of just go off the top a little bit with this one. Okay, folks, but Candace on World War II, spicy stuff. Controversial. We all read it. We all read in school about that stuff. And that was the right thing to do to stop the scourge, the evil of Hitler and all that. And I don't discount that part, by the way. A lot of evil could have been done in the name of even reasonable things. So, okay, well, here we are, Candace. Let's see if we can remember this a little bit. Going off the top a little on this one. Candace.
Do you think that America
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's coming back to me.
shouldn't have gone into that Second World War?
Yeah, and that is a radical statement.
If you missed it, he's saying, do you think... Let's watch it again.
Do you think that America shouldn't have gone into that Second World War?
Shouldn't, he said. You think America shouldn't?
Yeah, and that is a radical statement. People don't know how to deal with that because we've all been so brainwashed by the school system to believe that, oh, look how great things are. Let me ask you about your country. Do you think that your country has become greater since? Has our country become greater since? Absolutely not. This whole idea of international liberalism. Now it's not just about your problems, it's about solving the world's problems. Let's make sure that in Pakistan there's a trans flag waving. No, I actually, if Pakistan does not want to wave a trans flag, I don't even want to wave a trans flag, but why is this my business? And they're constantly trying to pollute you to make you think that it is your business. No, I actually am comfortable if that's going to be the newest smear that I have to wear, that we're isolationists. Good. I want to be concerned with just America's problems. As soon as those get resolved, I'm happy to peek up our head and say, oh, well, you know what? There are our friends over there in the UK. Let's see how they're doing, if we can help them. But America first.
But Japan did attack Pearl Harbor, so presumably you would have reacted to that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, look at it. I think.
Yo, you gotta love this guy. Like, I don't know if he's just like incredulous or something. I don't know if he's vibing. I don't know too much about GBN, but he's like, whoa, or if he's a little dumbfounded here, like, wait, hold up. Candace Owens, how do we tackle this? But like, okay, hold up. What about Pearl Harbor, though? Like, whatever you got to say about that. But let's say you were there when Pearl Harbor happened. It's wartime, right, baby? It's like 9/11, right? Whatever you got to say. They crashed into the towers. It's wartime. We're fighting, baby. Sign me up. Is what a lot of people felt. So I'm just kind of reacting to him a little bit. It's just his face, I guess.
Japan did attack Pearl Harbor, so presumably you would have reacted to that.
Can I, sorry, let me just at least comment a little on the first bit I played too. On that, Candace Owens shouldn't have gone in and all that. I just don't know the details. She makes some interesting points about the brainwashed people. Has the country become greater since? I don't know if we can say that. It's maybe been a slow decline for a while until the bottom falls out, right? And then it just all falls apart. On this international liberalism, I got to say, Patrick Buchanan, he writes about the unnecessary wars and how statesmen and egos and so many things at play could have gone a different way. And in World War I and II, didn't necessarily have to happen. I'm reminded about it a little bit, hearing it on the Hake Report too, someone's commentary on this, how I think Trump, I heard from the Hake Report, that Trump said he would have negotiated the Civil War. That's what we're told, that these wars, they had to happen. And I can't tell you the details, but we can get into some things. I did read quite a bit of Unnecessary War. I'm almost done, Patrick Buchanan. And so I think there are some fair arguments to make about that. On this though, if I could nitpick a little bit, Candace Owens, allow me to nitpick. It pains me to do so, but on this one is important. It doesn't pain me too much because I've heard some of this, and I don't want to be saying. I'm not saying that this is not true, but I would like if someone could tell me. I've heard some of this. Can you draw the line in between the trans flags that Candace Owens is talking about and World War II? Like, I'm not saying it's not true, but these kind of big, clunky statements sometimes need a little bit of, kind of handled seriously if we're going to be talking about it, right? So can that line be drawn? Can someone explain that one for me? How, I don't know, gay NATO going to every country that wants to join, telling them, hey, if you want to be part of the gay NATO, Gato, if you want to be part of Gato, you got to be doing like gay pride parades in your country. I know I might be being inaccurate here, but it's not that far off, folks. Can someone draw that line for me? I'd like to know. Because it's a big, a lot of big things here. Out of curiosity. But yeah, America first, heck yeah. What else about this? They were just about to get into something.
Yeah, I mean, yes, look, I think, of course, if you're ever talking about a threat in terms of your nation being attacked, you should always have an equal response. But at the moment,
so
we're being...
So that war was just.
But a response was just, right? Does the response necessarily dictate a world war? These are questions that should be relegated, I think, to an academic discussion. These would be interesting academic discussions. I'd love to get a bunch of people and to play out those scenarios. What if we had just...
Okay, sorry. I definitely saw that first part. I was interested to hear what she'd say about Pearl Harbor. She's saying, I don't know, let's simulate and figure it out. Fair answer, I guess. We're moving on. Thank you, Candace Owens. That's just some commentary that went viral over the weekend. Yeah, maybe you found that interesting too. On the assumptions we have of these things. And, but also kind of like the explosive language that comes from those kind of learning about these things. Like, yeah, because, we supported the wrong guy and now we got gay. Let's talk about it. Yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean? What else on this? Am I getting buffering on that? I'm looking at my chat here. It seems to me like, if you could describe what issues.
Just having problems on YouTube then, I think.
Gotcha. Well, thank you. What else? All right, just thank you, folks. Thank you for that. Something about my channel. I don't know what's going on. YouTube. Here I am following the rules. And you want to mess up my chats, my messages? No, I'm messing around. Okay. I think that's it on this. I think that is it on this. They're saying the new right. I believe this Lily girl, you've seen her. She said the N-word recently. She's been going viral. Conservative girl. She's telling the guys, buck up, stop being such pussycats. Stop being such kittens, she's saying, in other words. And she's saying this about the men, and she's in this photo with Sneeko. He was on the JLP show. Shout out Sneeko. He seems like a young, cool guy. I mean, I don't know. It seems like maybe he seems maybe, maybe a little impulsive. I'm a Muslim. Whatever, man. But hey, wishing Sneeko well. He was on the JLP show. Seems like look, they're saying this is the new right. I don't know a lot of these faces. I know Sneeko in the middle. And then Lily, this Lily girl who said the N-word and is not backing down. I do love that. I do sincerely love that. I love that. No backing down. That I love. But yeah, this is the new right. They're saying this is the new right. And I'm not laughing. Okay, they seem like nice people. I see two women. Like, it seemed like nice people, right? But let's figure it out, fellas. Let's figure it out. It's time to figure it out, fellas. You know what I'm saying? It's time to figure it out. She's a nice girl, too. She got embroiled in this controversy because she said the N-word. And she seems like a nice girl. Now she's out on TikTok. She's like, guys, it's time to man up and just marry these girls. You just got to marry these girls. It'll fix the voting thing. Stop being such kitties. Okay? And just marry these girls. Okay? Stop being such kitties. It's like, okay. Nice. You know what I mean? Like, nice girl. She's not even wrong, but what am I even trying to say? I'm talking about shallow takes and stuff. Maybe this is a shallow take. Hey, shout out to the new right. Whatever. Moving on. Shout out Lily. Look, this is not even that important. Let me get to something I really do want to say. Here. And you can call me 888-775-3773. But I brought up a Bible passage last week. And I may not exactly always be able to put it into words, but there's something so freaking true about this passage, man, that I can't help but attempt to flesh out some of what I was thinking. I know that if I truly had it in my heart, maybe I could say it in such a simple way that I wouldn't need so many words. But you also had me for 2 hours, and here's the anchor, baby. This is what's on my mind a little bit. Hopefully maybe you'll at least find this interesting. And it's this passage in James 4, about submitting yourselves to God. We were talking a little bit about sin last week, and like, what do you... about just dropping things. Okay, we're talking about a number of things. And I remember, in fact, it even, it kind of came up. People were saying something about, I wanted to lend some clarification to sinning, I remember last week. Because I think I had said something about, what was it? I'm backing up my show here, my show from last week. And I think I said something about, where was it? It may have been about, people who got issues, pot smokers, whatever. People who got, here it is. It's about like mental resilience. I was saying something about mental resilience, how, the reality is how everything is dying, right? You're dying. The people around you, your body dies. The people around you die. People turn on you. You're addicted to stuff. You can't stop things. And I remember I was just saying something about mental resilience. How the only time that's ever even started to turn around for me, any of that, whatever that is, everyone's got different things, personal, like emotional things. You're a people pleaser. That's something that comes to mind. Turning anything around has been the only time that's like even worked is the switch to mental resilience. Oh, it's not about, I don't need anything other than mental resilience. The only thing keeping me from wealth, discipline, everything is mental resilience, making that switch, making that kind of flip to focus on that, just being mentally strong will give you all the things you wanted. That's why you're not going to the gym. That's what you understand. I was saying something about that. And there's people who talk about the Bond Network a little bit, and they say, oh, you guys are okay with sinning. You're this cult who says, oh, you just pray, just silent pray, but smoke pot and be horrible and do horrible things and sin. And that's what we say, which is not at all what we say. That's not what we say. We're talking about not judging yourself and how that cycle of self-judgment keeps you in this sin that you don't even understand anyways. I don't see anywhere in the Bible where it really calls the things we do sin, like the actions, the vices specifically. So I was saying stuff about that, and I remember wanting to like kind of clarify a little bit, because this passage in James 4 about how Jesus is telling he's talking to the people saying like, why do you guys all fight each other? What causes those fights? Well, what's causing those fights, Jesus tells them, is stuff that's coming out of you. It's because of you. When you get mad, if you get frustrated, that's your fault. That's what he's saying here. He says, what causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from your desires that battle within you? He's saying that every time you get frustrated, every time you get mad, anything, every single time, that's you. That's your fault. That's what he's saying here. So, yeah, that's why I brought it up, because it just, man, it's totally what I was thinking. Maybe don't totally understand, but it's totally this. He's saying, you adulterous people, you double-minded people. He basically tells people that he tells these double-minded sinners that they could just wash your hands. Just wash your hands, resist the devil, he'll flee from you. Wash your hands, grieve and mourn and wail, but then humble yourselves to the Lord and just wash your hands of it. Like, wait, you're telling me I could just do that? I could literally just stop being double-minded? I could just not be double-minded? And why this interests me so much, because like I said earlier in the show, there's something about choice here. Here's how I'm trying to put this. I'm not saying you have this free will to do anything. Because think about it. Why don't you do the things you want to do? You understand? But at the same time, it's not like we're saying, at least that's not what I'm saying. Maybe I'm wrong. Someone call me. Maybe Jesse, come on in, tell me if I'm wrong here. But like, there's no way we're saying just silent pray and just be a drug addict or something. No. It's about realizing you can't do anything about it, but at the same time, you really, really don't want to do it. So you're going to try and stop. You're going to try and deal with the thoughts. You're going to do the work a little bit. Show up to the game. Put me in, coach. Good attitude. Not, I'm just an addict and I'll just keep praying, but I'm depressed, Jesse. I'll just keep praying and maybe one day God will take away. What God is trying to take away from you is this spirit that's made a home in you, that's got you thinking these things and having these desires in this crazy loop of emotions, going, I want to be free from this, but actually you want to do something, and then you feel the pain from this stuff, and you're like, I want to be free from this. Circle, circle, circle. What is it that you're trying to be? What God is trying to free you from? It's not those, but the that spirit that made a home in you. Okay, so on this, you gotta really want it, and there's people who really don't want it, and they could cry. You could say, I want to be free, but you know that here's how you know you don't really want it. Here's how you know, because the first moment, you don't leave any space. Imagine if you left some space. When the first emotion comes, when the first urge comes, when the first thought comes, here's how you know you don't really want to be free, because you go right with it. You don't leave even a little bit of space. If you left even a little millimeter of space, and you're not proving this to me, by the way, because I don't know your heart, but if you left even 1 millimeter of space, you would know that you do want it, because that millimeter becomes 2 millimeters. That 2 millimeters becomes more and more and more. You understand what I'm saying here? So if you leave no space at all, go right with it, that you don't really want it. You don't really want to be free. You want to be a drug addict. You want to be all these things. And I say you want to be with a little bit of awareness, because nobody wakes up wanting to be that way, but you're stuck in a demoralized animal loop. So, and in your animal loop, you want these things. You understand what I'm saying a little bit? So please, if I'm not making sense, call me. Maybe we could talk it out. But on this, if I can add a little bit here, if I can add a little bit here, a little bit on destroying yourself. How do I put this? There was this, who's this guy? There was this writer. He's a Russian, by the way. I'm saying that because we were talking about Russians, and I just like when things kind of coincide like that. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Didn't he write Crime and Punishment? Okay. He wrote this. I don't even know what Crime and Punishment is about. I forget now. But it's a novel. It's like a big novel. It's very deep, and like, because this guy was deep. This guy thought a lot about life, and and it's got layers. Okay, it's got layers, and I remember being really young for some reason, coming across this book and forcing myself to like slog through it, thinking it would make me smarter or something. I remember not understanding anything, just slogging page. I didn't finish it. I can't even remember. Look, I'm slogging through this book. Why am I telling you this? Because I want to tell you something about Dostoevsky and a little bit about destroying yourself. Hopefully you're following me so far. But he has a quote. Dostoevsky has a little quote about destroying yourself. And I remember reading this quote some time ago. And it's part of a story, okay? And I haven't read the novel, but I read quite a bit of like passages and stuff. It's called The Idiot. Okay, he talks about it in another one too. This quote is attributed to the book The Brothers Karamazov. But I'm trying to tell you about this quote. The greatest sin is to destroy yourself for nothing. The greatest sin is to destroy yourself for nothing. And he said this in other ways, how a character in his book destroys himself for nothing. And this particular story, the story of Dmitri, in this story, Dmitri, it's really an amazing story. Dmitri is like a mess. Dmitri is a mess, okay? Dmitri Karamazov. He's a mess. And I know of this story as well. I haven't read The Brothers Karamazov, but I know quite a bit about it because of this quote. And I've read a lot of passages and all that. Look, Dmitri Karamazov, he's a total mess. He's passionate and impulsive, okay? He's just very impulsive. It brings him a lot of problems, this impulsiveness and passion. It brings him a lot of problems and conflicts with a lot of people close to him, especially those close to him. It brings him into a lot of conflicts with them because Dmitri can't express himself. Like, it's so funny to really hear out this story of Dmitri. This passion and impulsivity causes a lot of problems he doesn't even mean in a sense, but he does. It's strange. He has this deep conflict with his father, a rivalry and a resentment because that comes from the criticisms of his father, and this internal struggle of, well, he's trying to help you and he's your father. He has this deep conflict with his father, and it has to do with judgment. It has to do with judgment and guilt. And he gets all this, he feels like all this judgment and guilt is put on him by others, by his father. Him being this impulsive person brings him some financial troubles. In fact, he's quite irresponsible in this story. He's actually quite irresponsible and self-destructive. He finds himself in quite a bit of debt. And although not many are in that level of financial trouble, I know that the passionate, impulsive people in the chat right now are understanding Dmitri. Okay? And in the story, he gets accused of killing his father. Oh, look at that. I had a hedgehog behind me. What's a little hedgehog? Let's switch to Nick Street background. Look, in this story, Dmitri is accused of killing his father. It's such a fascinating story. Look, the point is, if I may give you the twist, if you don't want to hear the twist and the way the story concludes and all that, the point of reading this book, I can tell just from reading the passages, that the point of reading this book is to not know what I'm about to tell you. So skip this part, okay? Because I think it'll ruin the book for you. But you don't, as the reader, you don't know if Dmitri actually kills his father or not. He's accused of it. He explains passionately that he didn't do it. He explains it. He explains in this as he's being in the trial, he declares his innocence, and in it he admits to all of his flaws. He's like, I know I have all these flaws, and I'm late, and the fact that I need money and I'm desperate makes me a prime suspect. But you guys can't be judging me for that. That's what he, right? The police end up finding incriminating evidence. And Dimitri gets convicted. He goes to prison for this. And throughout this, you don't know if he really killed his father. And he goes through this deep internal thing of having to deal with this. Eventually, there's an escape plan hatched by his fiance and his brother. They plan to break him out of jail because he's there unjustly. They believe him. And when writing about in that moment, the character Dimitri gets an internal conflict even about that, because at that point he had accepted his fate and internally made a sort of acceptance of his lot, because somewhere along the way he realized that he deserved what he was getting, despite him claiming his innocence, that he did not kill his father. And remember, at this point, the reader still doesn't really know. But he had accepted his lot, and he's like, in a sense, there's more to it, but he basically accepts that in many ways, he wrought this on himself for his overreactions, for his own reaction to what's happening to his life, for his own reaction to what was happening in his life. And that moment he spent in that time he spent in prison is quite interesting. But he gets this internal conflict because he gets this temptation of freedom. His family's telling his fiance and his brothers telling him, we can get you out. And he's like, oh, I literally just accepted my fate. I literally just accepted it. And I'm like, okay, this is what I got to do. And now he's getting tempted by this, possibility of freedom. And it really is a fascinating story. I say it because Dimitri destroys himself. It's such an amazing story. I'm thinking a little bit about the works of the flesh question for this week. I know it's Jesse's biblical question. I can't say I really know. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure the answer here. Why do you do the works of the flesh? And the part I'm not sure of is that, I think a part of you truly does want to be free. I think, right? Like, despite the blaming and despite the I'll never do it again, Lord, but you go back to it. Like, some part of you, I think some part of a lot of people, at least, they want to be free. So I can't say I'm sure on the answer here, but I'll say this. On blaming, your anger, your feelings, your thoughts, your guilt that you feel, any guilt you feel, any like confusion and turmoil you feel with anybody in your life, that's you. That is you wanting to do the works of the flesh, I think. That's you wanting to do the works of the flesh, I think. You're destroying yourself, and you want to destroy yourself. You want war. When someone says something that offends you, you have that opportunity to leave space and not go with that. You don't even have to totally understand it there, but you don't have to go with it and release your emotions back to that person, but you do instead, because you want to destroy yourself. You have a moment there to go against that. And if you just do, it'll be hard. It might be hard, but if you do, you'll see that it is good. But look, you understand me a little bit, folks? You do the works because I think you want to, man. You become addicted to the thrill of hurting others and yourself. You've heard it before, but that's what it is. It's not even that deep, like you're conniving to hurt. I bet you there are people like that. But I bet you most people are like your average person that's like, yeah, like feeling fine. I'm in a good mood. I'm great to people. But when your feelings come up, bleh, you shoot the cannon. You shoot the cannon. You get it? And I think that's you wanting to do the works of the flesh because you like it. And this whole time you've just been destroying yourself. This whole time, isn't that amazing? Like, this whole time, that's the greatest sin. You're just destroying yourself. And you have like so much in you. You have like, I heard you have the spirit of Jesus, the spirit that was in Jesus in you. That's what I heard. 888-775-3773. What do y'all think? I'm seeing Angel Reese. You see that black player, the basketball player. She's mad at Caitlin Clark, the one who was like jealous. And when they talk about NBA, they're going to talk about me too. That's that white. No, she never said that, but. And I'm seeing her like, I saw some video where she's basically commenting on the media. She's basically saying that the media is against her. Delusion. Total delusion. The world's against you. You're just saying that because you're mad at me, because you don't like me, because Caitlin Clark's the girl, because I'm the black girl. That's everybody. That's everybody who is going along with that work of the flesh, whatever. I may not totally understand it, but hopefully you're following me so far. That's everybody doing that. And everybody doing that is destroying themselves. You're destroying yourself, man. What do y'all think? What else do I want to say about this? I think that's what James is talking about. Not hake, but in the Bible. I think. I could be wrong, but he's like, this whole thing about what causes fights among you. Don't you know it's like it's coming from you? You covet what you cannot get what you want. So you quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. You know, you could think that means prayer, but I think that just means like showing up to the game like with a good attitude. Like that's you asking God, give me everything you have for me. And you don't receive because you ask with the wrong motives. That's what James 4 is saying. When you ask, you do not receive because you ask with the wrong motives, because you really don't want it. You want to fight. What else? And I think that's what James is talking about. Submit yourselves. I think he's talking about this, the works of the flesh, because you want it, and you could just not be double-minded. Let me get to Frederic. Out of Los Angeles. Thank you for your call, sir. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going? Good afternoon, Nick. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for calling.
Yep. Dude, you talking about the flesh, man?
Yeah, a little bit.
These men are out here curious. You know what I'm saying?
You say curry what?
They curious. The works of the flesh. It's like they never get it out of their system as a young man, so they stay curious because they're scared to talk to females, and it just grows, and the spiritual malady within them makes them a simp. Eventually, it makes them so curious that they'll pay to find out. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I don't know. It's like, I know what you're saying, though. It's a sad state of society. I see it. What you think about my answer?
It's totally internal, man. Yeah, I agree. Like you create this world inside, and it's sick. It's sick. Maybe a little bit of real life. I'm not saying it'll save you, but maybe a little bit of interacting, living your life. You might see where you're wrong, and you won't go so deep into this hell.
Tell them to go to Vegas and get it out of their system. Tell them go to Vegas, get it out of your system, and if you have a baby, get married and leave Vegas. Like that's Sin City. Go get all your thrills, seeking, and adventure out, and then once you messed around and found out, go home. Now you see, you got the clap, you broke.
I think that's horrible advice.
Ain't no love in the city, and you done got washed up. Go on home. Now
that's
done. Now you
horrible,
horrible
advice.
Dreams,
advice. I hope anybody listening does not listen to that. That's some of the worst advice I've ever heard.
Hey,
and here's why.
Might be the best. Who knows?
And it's not because I don't understand. I think I understand where you're coming from. I don't want to be ignorant on that because I don't think you're coming at it from an evil place, by the way.
And watch yourself.
By the way, I don't think you're coming at it from an evil place. I think you're coming at it because you understand what I'm saying here? Like, I think you're being sincere. Like, you really do think that'll help people. But here's why I think it's bad advice.
They're going to sin whether they think about lusting in their mind or whether they're doing it, and one sin's no greater than the other, right?
You know, I think you don't mean that in an evil way.
You don't answer my questions.
I didn't hear it. Sorry, what'd you say? So I was still kind of in the middle of a sentence. But go ahead. I want to answer your question.
I said you didn't answer my question.
Yeah, I was trying to say something. I was in the middle of a sentence. But go ahead. I want to answer your question.
I already asked it.
Ask it again for me. I didn't hear it.
I forgot what it was.
So I was saying that
See,
oh yeah, why it's bad
probably
advice.
something to do with my question.
Huh?
It was probably something to have to do with the question I forgot, and you can't remember because I can't.
No, I do
my
remember.
question.
I was saying why it's bad advice because I think I don't think you want people to. I think you're saying that because you want people to like actually get better in a sense. But I think it's wrong. It's misguided because here's the thing: people are gonna go and do those things. Like if they're the type of person who's gotta learn that way and learn the hard way, get the clap and get it out, they're already gonna do that. You know what I mean? But to advise people who aren't like that to do that is just, it's playing God. And here's why. See, here's the problem with those vices and all that. I don't personally think they're
But
sins.
they're sitting in their mind, they're thinking it though. Don't go away from that. I'm talking
I don't
about
know,
the people who's battling with the flesh. If they're battling with the flesh, they're sinning in their mind already. So they are like that. Let's go.
They're sinning in their mind. What they are like what?
Let's go. If they're battling with their flesh, they're sinning in their mind. They're lusting. Lust is a sin.
But they are like what? They are like what?
They're
See,
lusting. They are like the people we're talking about.
That's something else, Frederic. I was saying that they're not the type of person to because there are some. Here's what I'm trying to say. There are some people who are not like that, Frederic. I'm not saying they're not sinful. I'm not saying they don't have things to deal with. They still have things in the mind. They may still have lust in the mind. And like Jesus said, you lusting in the mind is no different. Fair enough. Here's what I'm trying to say, though. I'm saying that not everyone is the type of person who needs to go and get it out of their system. And here's why that's important. See, a lot of people, when they cross a certain line, they can't cross back. And it's always harder to cross back once you crossed it. And I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people who didn't need to do that. I know a lot of people who, just because they were influenced, you know what I'm trying to say here? That it just seems like bad advice.
Forgiveness.
You don't need to. You don't need to go over there to
cross back.
You don't need to. You don't need to. You don't need to get the clap to know how bad it is. Is all I'm trying to say. Okay.
God's forgiveness.
So that's all I'm saying. It's not the best advice. That's all I'm trying to say. You don't need to get the clap to. That's all I'm trying to say.
Will always accept you.
But that's all I was trying to say. To make it clear, you don't need to get the clap to learn. So go ahead. Next thing. Go ahead, Frederic.
You still have a chance to repent as long as you're alive. You can never go too far away from God. You can always return to God. Don't tell your chat that you can do something and now it's over and it. No, that's what God wanted you to go through. The people who call A's and have to deal with their consequences of cheating with their A's, that's what you had to do for other people to stay at home and do the right thing. Everything is God's plan, Nick. We can't figure this thing out. It's already figured out. We just got to watch it.
I think I mean, from what you just said there, it sounds like you're saying God forgives people. He's not going to judge you because you did this or that. That sounds true to me, sir. You could definitely return.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
What do you think about Candace Owens declaring Christ as king?
I can't say I think much other than I don't see it. I don't personally. People are saying that's anti-Semitic. I don't see it like that. I don't know. I don't see it other than that's all. That's the only thing I've really said about it. People call it anti-Semitic. I don't think it's anti-Semitic. I don't know if she's really thinking Christ is king. Who am I to say?
Okay, that's right. That's what's up.
What do you think?
I just wanted to get your view on that. You know, it's a lot going on out here, and we can't pick sides. Like, I didn't want to pick sides in church and say men are dumber than women for putting women ahead of our children. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was
divide
good.
And conquer. That's what the hierarchy wants us to do, is fight amongst ourselves
Totally.
and waste time. Yeah, I don't like that, but
I agree, man. But you got to answer the question.
Good to see you in church.
Yeah, man, it was. Thank you, sir.
Yep. You have a great
Call
day.
me again.
Yep, we'll do.
888-775-3773. Yeah. I'm just kind of convoluted sometimes. Here's the condensed, especially when I don't know, maybe I'm judging Frederic or something. Convoluted, condensed. You don't need to go and do cocaine to know that it's bad. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay, and the people who go and do that to learn that way is because they were like destined to learn that hard way anyways. They were destined for that. And so yeah. But right off, Frederic, God's not gonna judge you. Okay, let's get to Brian. Brian, North Carolina, sir, you're on the air. Thank you for your call.
You know, they say cocaine is bad. I agree. I totally agree. It's horrible.
Horrible. Yeah, he doesn't even drink.
I know. I wonder. Hey, he didn't have to go there to realize that, did he?
That's true. In fact, there's a wisdom there, huh? In like,
100%.
seeing danger from far and not going there.
Yep, 100%. That's called blessing. That's a blessing.
That's interesting way of putting it. Yeah.
If you can see it, that's good, right? That's a good thing.
Huh.
But I called in there because I liked your take on the biblical question. And at the end of it there, at the end of your statement on it there, you mentioned having a positive attitude.
Mm-hmm. And
I was thinking about this recently while I was at work, and I was asking myself, what's keeping people from having a positive attitude when they come to work? And I kind of, while I was on hold just now, I was thinking about it even more. But initially, obviously, anger came to mind. Of course, people that have anger, it's just 100% ego. Like, if things ain't going your way, it's just whatever, like attitude out of the window. But then I got to thinking about, okay, I remember when I overcame my anger, I remember I still had this little problem with having expectations. And even that, I realized, can get in the way with people having a positive attitude. But I think that's a really important thing when we're talking about going through life. I guess making it, as you were saying, is just really about having a positive attitude. If you can have a positive attitude, man, you will breeze through your days like nothing.
I'm starting to think a positive attitude is love. Like the real positive attitude where it's like, I don't know, man. Things slide off, you got space. You don't react to the first thing you go because you really do want peace. You really do want a positive attitude. So
yeah,
you can't be, you definitely at least put the work to not be shaken from that.
Yeah. And eventually it gets to a point to where I'm starting to see now where it's like, it's not even, it's getting to a point where having a positive attitude, or really just, I like what you just said there, just things kind of slide off. It's out of our hands, man. It's just like, life is just simply about praying, and everything else seems to just kind of work itself out. It's like there is no positive attitude. It's just this is the state.
Yeah, I think I understand. Yeah. Because it wouldn't matter what's happening. Because let's say someone's saying something about you and they're wrong. Well, let's say if you know you're not, you know yourself. Why is that going to bother you at all? Let's say they're right.
Right.
You know what I mean? There is a solution to it all, and the reason you don't have the positive attitude, the reason that things are going wrong is because I think it's because you want to. The reason you're doing the work it's because you kind of want to.
Yep.
Let's say they're lying about
you
and they're wrong. Then they're wrong. You're still you. Let's say they're right about you. Well, there's something that we could talk about here. Like there's nowhere in the tree. Nowhere in the tree is nowhere in the decision tree is there room for bad attitude, I'm mad, blame, hate, blame, and victimhood.
Yeah, and I like what you said there. If they're right, there's something to talk about. And what's amazing about that is that even when you go to talk about that, let's say you had an engagement and somebody did say something that was right about you, even when you go through that process of that, which, okay, there's going to be some things to talk about here, at the end of it, you kind of, the other person realizes that there's nothing they can do about it either. It's like nothing's happening.
Yep. Yes, sir.
It's really amazing.
It's amazing. I think I got to throw one of those out, at least one.
All right.
There's
no copyright on that.
It just felt right though too.
Yeah, it always feels right. Those just slip out too. Those just kind of slip out. Honestly, I'm not even gonna hold you, man. I've picked up so much from Jesse. And
Nice.
and I love it.
Yeah, I have no problem ripping. I have no problem ripping Jesse right off. Like I'll rip if it's real. Like if it's true. Like if I'm really seeing something, and I'm not on simple things. I'm telling you, anger is evil, man. I don't care what anybody tells me. Like anger is the spirit of Satan. I have no problem ripping Jesse off on those things that are true. That are just I can see that are true.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think about
But watch that thumper. Anyways, go on.
Oh no, that's what yeah. Okay, so definitely, for the thumpers, you definitely need to see the thumping. But this ain't no thumping, man, because this is what is good. This ain't no thumping because this is what is good, and this is what is for everybody. And I can see how the things that I'm not repeating what Jesse is saying. I'm repeating what God said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Jesse's repeating what God said. Jesse's not repeating what Jesse said. Even though Jesse said it.
No, totally, man. That's an internal thing anyways, because you could even say what you said and it'd be lying. Like, it's a total internal thing anyway, so what's with the judging anyways? Yeah. Everything you said is true so far. For anyone judging that, then stay blind.
Yeah, love your world. But that's all I got, Nick.
Sir, call me again, man.
Will do.
Here at the
Take
end.
care.
Down to the wire. Always a pleasure. Call me again, Brian.
Yes, sir. Will do. Bye-bye.
Folks, that's the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's check real quick before we go. In fact, I'm glad I checked. Chris with the Trip Coffees alert. Thank you. Chris says, hey, Nick. That's how you spell Nick now, by the way. I don't know if you've been following, but there's a new way of spelling Nick. And if you know how to spell it correctly at this point. You got to be in the know. No way, Terry. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate the kindness there. Anchor Baby stays breaking the internet. Kale Samogi, no way, with the super chat. Very generous. Thank you. Says, I believe people do the works of the flesh simply because it feels good, so it distracts them from hell. It's Satan's version of the truth that sets you free, and it doesn't seem to cost anything. That's like an even better way of putting it, I think. It's hard for me to even say like you just want to do the works of the. It's not that you do or don't. It's a paradox, I guess. It's that you're a degenerated animal stuck in an animal loop, and you like the animal loop. It feels good, and it distracts you from hell. Interesting, Kale. Appreciate the super chat there. Nit, what's up, Nit? Nit in the chat. Nitpicking. Let me check Rumble real quick before we go and say goodbye. Until tomorrow. Thank you, The Hake Report at rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Thank you, DLive.tv/Gorgonzola. Nit, N-I-T-T, or K-N-I-T. You decide. Rock on. Hey, appreciate it, folks. I'm out. Thank you for the super chats. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank you for the support and all that. Call me tomorrow. We'll do it up tomorrow, 12 noon, American Anchor Baby. And that's after JLP Show, Hake Report, and Joel Friday TV. Podcast. Don't miss the shows as we do. Take care. See you tomorrow. Peace. Peace. Bye.